So first of all, welcome everyone. Thanks so much for joining. Super excited we were able to organize this webinar with SAP Italy and with you, Marco, from Chiesi. Um, I'm Julius. I lead our customer community at TechWolf. It's my job to bring to the outside world all the fantastic plans and things our customers are achieving with skills or work intelligence. And a lot of that relates also to our partners, to SAP SuccessFactors, and where that lives into the systems that our customers use day to day. And that's what all this webinar is about, the compatibility between SAP SuccessFactors and TechWolf. And then, of course, we also wanted the customer perspective in this call on why this setup matters for somebody, for a practitioner, right? So just diving into what you can expect here in the hour that we will spend together. My intro will be very brief because very quickly I'll hand over to Colin, my colleague Colin, Director of Product at TechWolf, and later on Rosalba as well, sharing a little bit about the SAP side of things, so you have both perspectives. This will take approximately 10 minutes altogether. And then we go over to Marco from Chiesi. This will be a little bit of a customer story, like an experience sharing. I might ask a couple of questions, but especially we want you to ask a lot of questions. I'll get to that later, and then we close. If we have time, I'll provide a quick summary if I can, and then also some next steps, another webinar to highlight. But about the chat, Vanessa is here as well, which is amazing. Vanessa, the SAP Italy colleague of Rosalba, here to answer questions if you have any, whether it's on the SAP side. On the TechWolf side, we also have Colin and myself who could provide some context, or anyone else in this call of these panelists, honestly, are super knowledgeable with a lot of experience. So this is your moment to ask a lot of questions, right? We have the Q&A that's dedicated to that, in which you can pose your questions. So feel free to use that, and thanks in advance. But without further ado, let me pass to Colin. First of all, I'll stop sharing my screen so you can, because you told me you have some animations, and it's always easier to click yourself, right?
Yes. Thank you, Julius. Bear with me while I pull my slides up here. Okay. And can everyone see what I'm sharing now?
Yeah.
Yes. Lovely. And thanks, Julius. Hi, everyone. I am Colin Tierney. I am our Director of Product here at TechWolf. I'm based out of our headquarters in Ghent, Belgium. So I look after our product management function, building all of the wonderful new features that integrate with our partner systems like SAP. I'll just start with a little bit about TechWolf for those of you who may not know, just a brief overview. The company was founded in 2018. We are headquartered in Belgium and have operations in the UK and the US. We're now over 120, maybe 130 employees now worldwide, backed by some of the leading venture capital firms in Europe, as well as some of the leading VC arms of the biggest companies in Europe, like SAP. We are focused exclusively on enterprise customers. Many of our logos, though not all, can be found on the right-hand side. And we continue to grow, which is a wonderful thing. What do we do? At TechWolf, we basically serve to be the data layer for core HR systems. We connect three data sets that are disparate and really have never lived together. Those three data sets are skills intelligence, work intelligence, and market intelligence. And if you think about what each of those mean, skills are, what are the skills that I need in my business, and what skills do we have across our employee base? Work intelligence is what is the work that needs to be done, and what is the impact of AI on that work? And market intelligence is looking outside of your four walls to understand what's happening in the market, what's trending, what new skills are emerging, to understand what's happening in the market. We connect all of these three data sources into our data layer. We allow customers to govern this data, keep it clean, keep it up to date by looking to the market, by looking internally to your HR data, and allowing customers to then power their core HR systems. So we play very friendly with other systems. We want to be the governance layer only and surface our data and our intelligence where work already gets done. So that's SAP SuccessFactors and increasingly integrating agent to agent with agents such as SAP Joule. Our partnership with SAP SuccessFactors, and what does that exactly mean? We essentially serve to supercharge Talent Intelligence Hub. So as the foundational data layer at the bottom, we integrate with these three key core modules of Talent Intelligence Hub to power all of these useful skills-based workflows. So we connect with Job Profile Builder, Attributes Library, and Growth Portfolio by standardizing and harmonizing skills to power these use cases across learning and development, internal mobility, performance management. All of these workflows can now get powered with accurate, up-to-date skills to help our customers activate these workflows. How do we do that? We essentially go through this workflow here. I'll break this down step by step. We essentially look to business data sources, so Jira, Confluence, Asana, ticketing software, your core HR data, so things like CVs, job descriptions, and our labor market data. We have over 2 billion job postings that help us power our market-leading AI skills inference. And with that inference, we can then help you understand what skills do you have on the skill demand side, and what skills do you need on the skills demand side, and what skills do you have on your employee side, to help generate a taxonomy of skills that are very specific to a customer's organization, to understand what exactly is relevant for your business. Now, our models are market leading. They're very, very accurate. But to ensure that they get to 100% accuracy, we give customers the ability to govern these. We provide a governance application to help confirm at a job profile level what the skills are across jobs. And for each employee, they have the opportunity to say what skills they have and their specific proficiency level by engaging with this where they already do work. So we can surface these validations in Microsoft Teams or Slack, depending on what our customer's preference is. That matchmaking then allows us to fuel these key use cases that actually take place where HR leaders and employees need to consume skills. In Job Profile Builder, Attributes Library, Growth Portfolio within SAP SuccessFactors. And once these skills are in place, they really unlock a much more accurate skills-based view of all of these different use cases, helping really fuel a better way to understand internal mobility opportunities, learning and development, how to provide the correct course recommendations, talent planning, and strategic workforce planning becomes a lot clearer, and you're able to unlock those use cases once you have the right skills in place. So in summary, that's our partnership. I'm really excited about it, excited to hear how we're helping Marco and the Chiesi team get this off the ground, and thrilled about the partnership overall.
Awesome. Thanks, Colin. We can immediately head over to Rosalba and hear the SAP side of things.
Yes. And again, while Rosalba gets set up, or shall I keep sharing, Julius?
Can you hear me? Yes, sorry. Good morning,
Yes.
everyone, and thanks to Colin and Julius to invite me to this webinar, and a special thanks to Marco, okay, that he will share the Chiesi journey on the HR transformation and how and what they are doing for the skill-based organization. I have to share the slide, I think. Let me just a second. Mm.
In the meantime, if there are questions, feel free to use that Q&A, and we can, for Colin's part, Colin is very well versed to answer all of the questions you have.
Yes, happy to take any questions. If I can't answer them, I'm happy to connect offline as well. Yeah, very keen to take any questions you might have in the audience.
Can you see my slide?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So, as Colin mentioned before, we would like to share with you how we can help and how we can support our customer to build a skill-based organization. What does this mean? And why we are talking about skill-based organization and the importance of the skill, how to manage the skill inside our organization. We know that the skill is one of the top 5 priority in all our research in over the last 5 years, but not only our SAP research, but also from the analyst. And the relevance of the skill is important for all the organization. What I mean? I mean for HR leaders, I mean for business leader, I mean for employee. From the point of view of HR leaders, for sure, the reason why they want to use skill data are about how to improve the workforce planning, how to, let me say, moving forward the organization and the talent. But for HR, not only for the HR leader, but for the business leader, the relevance of the skill-based organization and how much is important to build a skill-based organization is related on more transparency, more, let me say, visibility, more accountability, and also how to move a very clear path on how to move forward the team, their team members. And from employee perspective point of view, for sure, more autonomy, from more transparency, and how to develop their skill and how to move in the career path. So, as you know, to build a skill-based organization could have a positive impact on for each actor inside the organization. So, as I mentioned before, the objective of the skill-based organization is to align the people, let me say, the people ambition and the KPI organization. Why is, let me say, is important to do this type of alignment in order to be more faster and more efficiency to reach the company objective, the company goal. The technology is ready. As Colin mentioned before, okay, we are ready to help our customer to build the skill-based organization. How? As a SAP SuccessFactors, we have a talent management suite, and that are in the talent management suite, we have a free, let me say, area. One is the talent acquisition, the second one is performance and goal, and the third one is learning and development that I already mentioned in the benefit for after we put in place a skill-based organization. The fundamental of our talent management portfolio is the Talent Intelligent Hub. That is, let me say, a framework, okay, where we have all the data related on the skill inside of our organization. And these skills are built with our partner TechWolf. One of the main advantage of our platform is an open skill ecosystem. As Colin mentioned before, we work together with TechWolf to build, to analyze the skill, to analyze the inside information inside the organization, but also the market and so on. And with the Talent Intelligent Hub, we have just one platform where we have all the information related on the skill, and this information is available across SuccessFactors suite. This is the advantage of the collaboration between SAP SuccessFactors Talent Portfolio Management and TechWolf. And this is an example of what does it mean to use the Talent Intelligent Hub in SuccessFactors. We have all the information related on the workforce, where you can find information about the skill, about the career path, about the learning and the training that I can do in terms of suggested training in order to reach a career path and so on. This is an example. Here we have a QR code where we can find a demo. And as I mentioned before, the Talent Intelligent Hub help the customer in all life cycle management. What does it mean? What does it mean in terms of attract and hire a new candidate in the onboarding? For the engagement, that doesn't mean analyze the performance based on the skill, based on the objective, based on the goal setting, and also create a learning experience. Okay, based on the ambition of a single individual employee, and also for the company goal. This is how we manage the talent with the help of Talent Intelligent Hub. So as I mentioned before, in all life cycle management for each employee. So why the Talent Intelligent Hub, and what is the the value of this solution that is the fundamental of the talent management. Okay, for sure we create a single source of truth that is available for each module or each module inside the suite, but for each for all organization. I mean, in terms of HR leaders, in terms of business manager, in terms of employee, and with the help of the artificial intelligence, we can, create. We have two type of, advantage in terms of AI capability. The use of Joule in terms of copilot, Joule in terms of agent to agent, and also all the embedded artificial intelligence released in our platform. For sure, another advantage is the alignment of individual needs with the growth opportunity that create more engagement, and the commitment to keep the people in the center of the company strategy, of our strategy, in order to move the organization forward in agile mode, faster and smarter. So this is the main reason, okay, for the Talent Intelligent Hub. So over to you, Julius. Thank
Awesome.
you.
Thanks so much, Rosalba, for that. Yeah, hope it's super clear now, as kind of a broad introduction to this, like what the setup looks like. But obviously, you're here to also listen to how this is like, why practitioners, why peers of yours might choose for this setup. And this is where super excited to welcome Marco as well. Marco, maybe a good time to introduce yourself and to talk a little bit, like why did this setup?
I cannot hear you anymore, Julius.
Me too.
Julius for a moment, but
Well,
I can jump in.
I can start if you want, guys. I think I got the question.
Yes.
So,
Perfectly.
Julius, we lost you for a few seconds. So, but in any case, I'm just going to introduce myself and also Chiesi for those that do not know us. So I'm Marco Camin. I'm head of Global People Tech and Data Insights in Chiesi. So let's say I'm the responsible for the HR nerd area, let's say, of Chiesi, and I joined Chiesi almost 9 years ago when we didn't have anything basically from an HR tech point of view, and we started our journey in 2018 with SAP. So it's a long relationship, let's say. A couple of information about Chiesi. Chiesi is a global biopharma company. We are almost 8,000 people spread around the world. So we are, let's say, really global, let's say. And as I said before, we started our journey with SAP in 2018 with the implementation of Employee Central, that is the foundation layer of SuccessFactors. And we went live in 2019. And from that moment on, let's say, we started our journey with people data. And after some years, let's say, we are now in a moment where we have a consolidated framework. No? So we implemented almost everything on SAP, starting from onboarding, recruiting, performance, training. We have really everything. So when it was decided, let's say, from a strategic point of view, to move forward and try to become a skill-based organization for a list of reasons that I can share with you. We started look on the market, of course. So and in the end, we decided to go ahead with TechWolf and SAP to take the best out of our current infrastructure, let's say. So we wanted to make good use of our investment, let's say, and we found a super partner, and here we are. So I don't know, Julius, do we want to, which point do we want to take, let's say?
Yeah. No, I hope I'm back, by the way. Sorry for that
Yeah, you are.
interruption earlier. Awesome. No,
Oh,
No, you're not anymore.
back and gone, unfortunately. And happy to jump in maybe a bit here, Marco, to open the conversation up a little bit. You mentioned that, yeah, we began our partnership a few months ago. We're working together now. Maybe some of the things that from the TechWolf side, like beginning with some of the context for Chiesi that you were looking for, how we're helping solve some problems for you, and where we're getting started now.
So maybe I can tell you a bit more why we wanted, what was the objective, no? So we are a great place to work company, okay? So we do this survey every year, and one of the main questions that comes from our people is how can I develop myself, okay? So one of the key questions that we wanted to answer, let's say, was what's in for me, what the company provides me as opportunity to grow. And since basically the opportunities in a certain way are already there, we already have everything on SuccessFactors. We open our position, we have learning content and so on. So the point was, how can we make it more visible, and how can we really empower our people to know those opportunities? And that's where, let's say, TechWolf comes in, because we found TechWolf as a, let's say, super powerful, let me call it a sort of add-on, a sort of steroids on SuccessFactors AI, that actually that's our vision. So we are in an implementation phase, so I cannot tell you what is coming, but the reason why is we wanted to implement to leverage on TechWolf capabilities of connecting information, getting information from the market, being able to extract value from our data that are stored in SuccessFactors, and provide information about the skills that we have, the opportunities that what are the best opportunities for myself. So what could be the next step based on the skills that I have, or the skills that I would like to develop. Or if you change the perspective from a manager point of view, what skills are we lacking, or what is coming? Because AI is the very giant, in the room. So understanding how AI will inevitably change the things, the action that we do, the task that we do, and what kind of competencies and again skills we need to develop in each of our own job, very different job. I didn't said that, but in case we cover basically all the parts of the, let's say, of the supply chain. We start from the early research, so early drug discovery, to the post-market evaluation. So we really have from research, production, staff function, commercial areas. It's very different companies with very different jobs within one company, and the idea is that an engine like TechWolf applied on SuccessFactors can really also empower potential transversal movements, no? So there's a lot of literature that says that transversal skills can be applied not in silos, no, but you can move people and get the benefit out of that, moving from research to production, or from marketing to sales and so on, or from marketing to research. So that was the big idea behind that, no? So understanding where we are, understanding what we need to, where we can go, and that's the big reason why.
That makes a lot of sense. Thanks for sharing that. I can imagine, yeah, in a pharmaceutical company, that the advent of AI presents a lot of opportunity, right? But you also need to maintain like high quality and people being in the right places to make the right decisions.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you need to think careful about the investment in AI in different areas of the business. If you do find those investment opportunities, maybe you can take those people that have a lot of Chiesi context and make sure they're in the right places to succeed. Yeah.
Yeah, the idea in the end, guys, the idea is not to substitute people, okay? In general, okay, we want to empower our people. So it's like giving, I mean, I always see the AI as a very, very big wave that is coming, whatever you want or not. So you need to be able to surf it. So we need to provide our people the tools and the tools to develop themselves, and to find themselves in a good way versus what is coming.
Yeah.
And TechWolf, we saw this partnership between TechWolf and SAP as a very good way to start introducing that on suggesting the right training, suggesting projects. So we are also implementing a kind of new process this in case like gigs. So small projects, transversal projects where people can apply, and basically this is how we saw it. Let's say.
Yeah.
But
Of
sorry, we have a question in the chat for you. Okay. And the question is, did you have an existing job
yeah.
architecture when decide to become a skill-based organization? This is the first part of the question. The second part is, what are the key learning from your perspective for organizations that are at the beginning of that journey? So
All
two
right,
questions.
so this is a
Okay.
very good question because we do have a job architecture. So let me say, just to set the basics, without good data, you cannot do anything. So this is a kind of project, in my opinion, that you need to do when you have the right also maturity from a data point of view, from a processes point of view, because this will change processes. But if you have I mean, if you have wrong data stored in your system, you will never be able to get the real value out of this kind of project. So we did have a job architecture, and let's say that we never used it very much. So we used it like to drive some reporting and so on, but we never used it. So one of the key points of this project, let's say, is also a refresh of the job architecture, a project that we are doing with TechWolf. So, usually doing a job architecture takes months or years. And we try to pursue a different road together with TechWolf, with the partnership with TechWolf. So based off on our information, what let's say what we envision for the kind of job architecture that we need, and let's say also on the capabilities of SuccessFactors, because I would say that the job architecture needs to be structured also based on the system that you use. So we are revamping our job architecture in order to provide the best experience to our people, so they really find good job opportunities. They say themselves in the job description that TechWolf will feed within a SuccessFactors and so on. So yeah, job architecture is absolutely fundamental, let's say. And let's call it, we are in this road together. So we are working on that to be ready for the next steps. This is let me say, a sort of prerequisite at the beginning of the project, I would say.
Yeah.
And the
I
key
can add
learnings, yeah.
if you'd like, or just on that, because it's very exciting to be able to help there, help you do a refresh, which businesses will just need to do right after certain years of operating, to look internally at what's changed and also externally to the market, and give you and your teams the context to say, okay, what makes sense for job architecture now, and really then set that foundation for all of the other use cases and the clean data that we need to really support you as a customer. So it's very exciting for us to be able to offer that to you. And what would, as you mentioned, Marco, otherwise take, months, maybe a year of an undertaking, we're looking forward to helping you just in the matter of weeks to get a refreshed job architecture, as you said, that lives in SuccessFactors and is the foundation for all of these use cases. So very excited for that.
And for what regards the key learnings, I think that it's very important that you have an organization that believe in this kind of projects. Let's say, I would say from an organizational point of view, is a transformative project, and you need to have leaders that believe in the added value of becoming a skills-based organization for the benefit of the company, let's say, but with the benefit of the people that work in the company. So this is one of the key learning. I mean, probably is something that you would give for granted, but I think I think it's not. And so one of the key points on this kind of project is create the good, let's say, narrative, being able to tell your organization what are the advantages, what's in for them, what's in for each person, because I mean, also TechWolf works on the information that are available to him in a certain way, no? So people need to enter within their profile. We need to update their also information in order to take all for the system to be able to infer the skills that each person has or have developed potentially in the past. So this is, I think, one of the key learning.
So Marco, if I can add, it's not an IT project, but is let me say, a company project that involve all component inside the organization. So as you mentioned before.
Yeah, it's not an HR process. It's not an IT.
It's not an IT project
Yeah.
and so on. Yeah.
No, absolutely, absolutely.
Cool.
Yeah.
I hope third time's a charm. I hope it's fine now. I switched my connection, and I'll have words with my internet provider. But super cool to hear, Marco, that you went for that data first setup. But then the next question is, what do you do with it? And this is where I'd love your take. You're in a very data heavy role. There's many things you can do. You can surface it to employees. But you can also surface it to certain business leaders on critical issues they have in the organization. So could you speak a bit to how you're planning to then activate this data layer?
So let's say that there are several use cases, no? So from a company point of view, we want to understand what are the skills that we have, okay? So what are the key skills that are present in the company? And we also want to understand how as I said before, how the jobs are evolving. So what are the skills that we will need tomorrow? And being able to start also the recruiting for those skills. So, or understand, that there's this way of say you can decide to buy, borrow, or rent. I mean, you can also decide to delegate this to potentially an agent, no, potentially in the future. So, really, this was very important for us from a workforce planning point of view. So, being able to understand where we are and if we have what we need for where we want to go. Okay, this is from workforce planning. From an employee point of view, let's say it's giving transparency to people on the skills that they have, they know, but also understanding what they miss for the next step potential of their career. So when we open a job, when we open and also when we do not open a job. So people may want to understand what could be the next steps. So let's say I'm a sales. I could become a training manager. I could become a marketing manager. I could leverage on the commercial information to become someone in procurement or in HR. I don't know. But the way we infer this information, these skills can really enable potential career path that sometimes are not visible to everyone. No, so usually you think in silos. I'm a sales rep. I can become a sales area manager, then a field area manager, and so on. Sometimes the same skills can be applied in more than one field. And once the people have this information clear to them, also understanding what kind of action they can take to pursue these opportunities potentially. So they might find mentoring, they might find training courses, they might find potential temporary assignments, let's say, to develop those skills and then make potentially those next steps. So, and this is from an employee point of view. And then, in general, we live in a complex world, let's say. So things are evolving very fast. We are also active in M&A, so in merger and acquisition. So you may get immediately when you enter in a new market potentially. So you connect the business needs to to the, let's say, HR environment. Let's call it this way. So you might find what you have, what you need, where you want to go, how to get there. Basically, it's part of the business strategy. Let's put it this way. So yeah, that's I think the main point.
Yeah, cool. And if you think about people who might be listening, trying to embark on a similar setup, they might already have SuccessFactors. They might not yet have TechWolf. It's a case you need to make internally, right? Like adding yet another solution, an external technology. We heard from the start from Colin and from Rosalba why the setup made sense or could make sense, but in your point of view, having pitched this to the business as well and having brought this in, what is the arguments you brought to the table to convince the organization we need another data layer, despite already having SuccessFactors? We need this other piece bolted to it because it could be helpful for people to hear from that.
Yeah, I mean, this is valid for any kind of information that you take to your business leader. If you take wrong data in a certain way, not accurate, you lose your credibility with the business. And I learned this with, I mean, my role as people analytics, no? Because if you take insights that are based on wrong foundation, and the business is able to understand that there is a wrong foundation, let's say, which is usually it is, you lose your credibility. And so then you will never, it's very difficult to get back on the right road. So the idea was to use SuccessFactors as our, let's say, data foundation, and to run our processes and give our people just one user experience, so they do not need to learn new system. There are other system potentially in the market, but it's always something new. So we want them to have a clear experience, clear linear experience, but then empower it with the best tool that we found, let's say, on the data point of view. So we take advantage on the huge amount of work on data quality that we did along the years on SuccessFactors, because that's very important. If you have wrong data, again, it's also TechWolf cannot work very well on wrong data. We want to take advantage on SuccessFactors and then empower it with all the possibility on the market information, organizational information that TechWolf is able to deliver. That was the reason why we wanted. So, and when information fly back to SuccessFactors, they are actually even more accurate now. So that was the reason why we wanted to take advantage of this. And let's say, having all our processes that run on SuccessFactors, it was quite clear for us that we didn't want to replicate processes. Let's say we didn't want to replicate a learning system, to replicate a recruiting system, to replicate people profile information. We wanted one place that is master. So the master data is SuccessFactors for employee information, organization information, and so on. The master layer for skills is TechWolf. So that's why we choose this with this infrastructure. I also see there is a question from.
Marco, there is another question. I don't know if you read it.
Yeah, I mean,
which part of HR sits at the strategic ownership of skill in Chiesi?
So let's say that we have an organization where we have talent processes in HR that are under one hat. Let's say that is about development, learning, and talent acquisition. And then we have people tech and people analytics, and we own, let's say, the overall structure of information that are available. We run all the data quality and so on. And then we have rewards, global rewards that have the information from market on compensation and so on. So we are still in the definition on the next step now is a working journey, not this one. And for the time being, the job architecture will sit under my responsibility. Let's say that I have a wider view on data quality, on how our organization look at the information and so on. But this is in strong relationship with rewards, with talent management, let's say, and all the HR business partner, of course, because we have strategic HRBP that, let's say, cover the various different business areas. So within HR stands with me, but in strong relationship with these three other entities. Then, of course, the business is relevant because no one knows better his job by the business. So the skills will be validated with champion from business, and the skills will be validated from champion from business, and so on. Yep.
Yeah, cool. I was also wondering, Marco, that it's one thing to bring it to the employee side of things, but there's always like two sides of the same coin, which is then also the leaders bring this data to the leaders, make sure that, especially as you mentioned, the demand side of things shifts a lot. How do you keep in touch with that? So how are you planning to visualize and bring that to the leaders? There's the employee experience side of things, but I can imagine the more you network in the organization about this data layer, the more maybe there's a little bit of FOMO in the organization and people wanting some insights. So how do you plan to campaign that to senior business leaders?
Of course, senior business leaders are part of our committee, let's say, and this will become part of the package of information that we usually deliver to our leaders. So, as a people analytics, we deliver a lot of data, of course, from workforce data, labor cost, and so on. This become one of the foundation layer that we deliver as part of our people analytics function. So leaders will always be able to run analytics, to be able to understand what they might be missing in terms of skills, what's their current status, how they should plan for investment in development of their people, who are potential key talents that are hidden in the organization, because sometimes you try to set up systems that are processes that are able to view everything that you have in the organization, no? But sometimes you miss them. So you might have, let's say, how to say, small diamonds spread around the organization that you might be missing, and here is also a way to see them, no? To see people that might have some critical skills hidden somewhere in the organization. So yeah, let's say that this is a way we want to deliver that also in terms of succession planning. So being able to be always more data driven, no, in a certain way. So we tend to be we want to become a data driven company in general. This is one additional brick in a wall of a data driven company. That there is this general way of saying that a decision made on good data is better than a decision made on faith, like in a certain way, no? So this is another way to deliver on this promise.
Yeah, awesome. And while maybe some last people are gathering their curiosities, feel free to ask some final questions to Marco. It's the time to do it. But I want also to reflect forward a bit with you, Marco, and ask you maybe as this develops and we're right in the middle of the work, right? What is something you're most excited about in this partnership? And I will also ask the same question to you, Rosalba. So be prepared for that. But I'll start with you, Marco. Something you're excited for.
You know, I'm telling you just a small memory that I have many years ago when I made the final upload of information on SuccessFactors. When we did the implementation, at a certain point, we have everything. No, so we could run in 1 second how many people we have, how many the percentage of male, female, and so on. So that was when we introduced SuccessFactors, that was incredible because we never knew that. So it was very difficult for us as a company to understand in each moment the basic information of our people. And for me, this is another moment, one of those moments. Once that we start the implementation, we start to see those data, you understand the value that you created in a certain way. So that I think is what is exciting me is that, I mean, in a couple of months from now, maybe earlier, we will be able, let me see, I'm joking, but in 1 second to say, okay, this is the skills that we have. This is what we are missing. This is where we have, what are the critical skills for our business? I mean, if you think about from a wider point of view, from a company point of view, this is very difficult. And you have it in 1 second. No, so that's relevant for me.
Awesome.
And from my side, Julis, for sure, I fully agree with Marco. And I believe, as I mentioned before, that the technology is ready. Okay, for sure, we have to create, let me say, the good level of environment, starting from data. As Marco mentioned before, without the correct data, it's impossible to build, let me say, to use the technology in the right way. I mean, the artificial intelligence and how to build is the fundamental to build the skill-based organization in order to obtain, let me say, the correct career path, in order to know what is the correct training for me and what is the actual skill that we have. So the technology is ready to help our customer, okay, to move forward. So this is the key point, okay, and we are at your disposal. I mean, at disposal to our customer with your talent team in order to support, to go in deep dive in the solution and also in the project. So we are ready to help our customer together.
Fantastic. Awesome. We have 5 more minutes left. I will close off saying thank you to everyone who joined here from the SAP side, for you, Marco, Colin as well. Yes, I think you can reach out to all of us if you have any further questions on how this is developing. And I also hope that at some point we do this again, maybe in a couple months' time, maybe later, to see how things progress, because this is not a one-point time journey. This is something that keeps developing. So it's interesting to stay in touch, and we will for sure be in touch. And the only thing I'll say is that if you're interested in more stories like this, tomorrow I'm sitting down with another one of our customers. It's T-Mobile. We have another webinar lined up a little bit later on European time because we have to accommodate for the West Coast in the United States. But still very interesting to attend that one. I will put the link in the chat so all of you could sign up and register. But that proves to be a very interesting one as well. So thanks everyone for joining. And yeah, see you on the next one. And thanks to the panelists.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Yes,
Thank you.
thanks,
Bye.
Marco, Rosalba,
Ciao.
Vanessa. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.